Hi there, Pisces. Hope you guys are having a fantastic January thus far. This is your mid to late January reading. It's going to cover approximately the last 2 weeks of the month. So thank you guys so much for tuning in, and for all of you who tuned in last month. So thank you so much, and glad to see you guys here again. Just going to shuffle it a bit more, and then we're going to get right into it. Okay, we're going to be doing the Celtic Cross today. In your deep past here, we're going to have a card, the very first card, followed by your recent past, then your current state, your help or hinder card, sort of like the advice card, then your near future, the hopes and or fears is right here, followed by the final outcome. We're going to crown the reading with 3 cards. The first being the energy that you really harness, that you stepped into, that helped lead you to your current state, followed by the environmental energies that sort of lie at your feet as you proceed through the month. And thirdly, here up in the top corner, we're going to have the sort of energetic pathway that you're moving into. Okay, so without further ado, I see you as very busy, Pisces. Very busy. A lot going on. I see you sort of concentrating on something, picking up a phone call, looking really finely at something, lots of concentration, attention to detail. Okay. Again, this feeling of wanting to get something right, almost even in a sort of obsessive way. Okay, so here we go. Deep past, recent past, current state. Advice, near future, hopes and or fears, final outcome, the energy that you stepped into that helped lead you to your current state, the environmental energies, and the energetic pathway that you're moving into. Let's flip over the deck to get a sense of the sort of theme of the reading. And here we have the 7 of Wands. Okay, so let's first take a look at the elements at play before we get into it here. You have a number of major arcana right off the bat. You have the Hanged Man, you have the Devil, you have the Empress, and you have the Fool. 2 major arcana sort of crowning and bracketing your reading up top energetically, from sort of your past to your future energy. And let's see here. Another major arcana coming in from your deep past, speaking to sort of a grander macro level sort of transformation, okay, that's been trailing for quite some time, okay? And it's one that's definitely on your mind. Okay, so there's a sort of preoccupation with the macro movement of sort of the journey at hand that you are involved in. Okay, and let's take a look below the Seven of Wands, we have the Eight of Pentacles. Yes, this is the fine-tune sort of micro work and really detail to the attention, right? But really day in, day out, work, almost obsessively, right? If you look at this spider just sort of spiraling and focusing on building that web. And beneath that, you have the Son of Swords in reverse, okay? So all three elements here, okay? And the web is sort of in the middle, right? So it could be this sort of weaving of many different sort of faculties and aspects to yourself, okay? But nonetheless, bringing something together. And let's take a look at the other elements here. You have quite a number of wands and pentacles, okay? You have 1, 2, 3. And if we're considering, right, the theme card that's on the very top, 4 wands cards, speaking of the fire element, speaking of action, speaking of passion, creativity, right? It's sort of the fire beneath your butt that just launches you forward and gets you going, okay? And yes, pentacles. 2 pentacles and the sort of central theme card of the Eight of Pentacles. Okay, and I'm getting a very this is a significant energy. That's the feeling that I'm getting. It's almost at the center of, right? Sort of whatever it is you are bringing together, right? It's this attention, this focus, this relentless sort of output, right? That you're placing towards something. Okay. Sorry about that, guys. Okay, so and it's almost sort of like the glue, right? And I'm getting the feeling that you have your mind very much focused. You're focused on getting something done and bringing it to completion. And it's beautiful that you have the Father of Pentacles in your final outcome, because it's really speaking to the sort of culmination of whatever it is that you are working on. Okay, so this hard work seems to be paying off and will be coming to sort of the a place that makes you feel stable in whatever it is you're doing. Okay. And you have 1 swords card and another swords card here in your theme. Okay, so we have every element represented here, including major arcana, but a lesser extent of the swords energy. Sorry guys, 1 second. Let me close the door. A lesser extent of the air energy, which speaks to the intellectual mind, right? Our ability to sort of logic through something, okay? So it seems that there is less of a focus on the sort of logical, clear-cut, delineated sort of approach to whatever it is you're doing, okay? Now, let's get right into it. Sorry, guys, I'm gonna... Okay. So, there's a prominence of earth energy, stable, working consistently towards something that you believe is going to bring you long-term benefits. Okay, you're trying to form and instill a sense of stability in your life. Okay, that's going to carry you in the long term. And if you look at this Father of Pentacles, right, it's looking right off into the future. There's a confidence with this card. There's a sort of, there's definitely a sense of stability and calm. Okay, feeling almost as if you want to get yourself to this point where you are, you've sort of climbed that initial hump and mountain, and are now able to sort of look forward, right, and approach whatever it is that's coming towards you with greater stability and sense of groundedness in terms of your position and where you are in the process even. Okay, okay. So in your deep past, you have the Hanged Man. Okay, the Hanged Man speaks to sort of being in the dark about something. And I am almost certain that these two cards perhaps came out, maybe it was for another sign, but okay, yeah, I'm not sure if it was Pisces for the early January reading. However, this theme has come up before, and ultimately, right, it's speaking to the sort of feeling of needing to wait, right, needing to pass the night almost, right? And this is in your deep past. Okay, so you perhaps were in a period in your life where you felt like, I know, right, that night is going to turn into day, that things are going to become clear for me, right, that I'm going to be able to wake up and fly, right? There was this feeling though of having to wait nonetheless. Okay, having to go with the natural course of things, even if it kept you up at night, right? This bat has red eyes, bloodshot red eyes, kind of speaking to that feeling of being awake at night, right? Knowing that you have to wait. Staying up at night isn't going to make the night pass any faster, right? But it's just that feeling of anticipation, not being able to almost wait until day comes and there is clarity. Okay, so that's from your deep past, a period of sort of stillness, of stagnation, of awaiting a turn of events and a transformation, which it seems you're very much that you have stepped into and that you're going to continue to step into, okay, energetically. So yes, okay, and I'm seeing it, right? I'm jumping up here to the Fool, because if you look at these two cards, and let me just make sure we're recording. Okay, great. These two cards, right? They're both sort of impending. Okay, the Fool speaks to the number 0, the very first major arcana, right? The first sort of leg of the journey, okay? Setting out in a totally starry-eyed, optimistic, positive, sort of almost even naive way, right? It's just a baby chick. There are no expectations of the world around him or her, you know, and so he's just sort of setting off, okay, and taking that first step, taking that first sort of leap forward, okay, in this new journey. So there's a feeling of flight, definitely, right? Flight with the bat, flight with the bird, but a feeling of being impending, not being able to quite fly yet, not being able to really take advantage of your full potential. That's really what I'm getting, right? That there was perhaps a feeling of you weren't really tapping into your potential, okay? And so in the deep past. Now, this is the energy that you stepped into that helped lead you to your current state, which is the Six of Wands, okay, in reverse. Now, okay, so the Fool in reverse, right, is sort of the energy of, I'm feeling that it's the awakening, the realization, right, of this new journey, of the first step that you need to take, being ready for it, right? Being ready for it in your mind, even energetically ready for it. Okay, these are the energetic crowning cards. So energetically prepared to take the first step in a journey, but not quite being fully ready to either present it to the world or officially sort of set out, right? But there is this sort of shift in energy from stagnancy to the beginning of a cycle, but one that's not quite right side up yet, right? There is sort of a delay, almost even perhaps a preparation. Okay, and that brought you straight into the Six of Wands in reverse. Okay. Huh, very interesting. Sorry. This is not a Wands card. This is a Swords card. Okay. Now, perhaps that's why this was feeling a little weird, this triangulation of energy, because this Wands was pointing to this card here. And now that this is a Swords card, this Swords card, these are very much speaking to each other. Okay. Now, okay. One moment, let me tune in here. Okay, so in your recent past, if you look at these two cards together, again, a feeling of stagnancy, right? Still air. This is an air card, right? And with these floating swords, it's almost as if it's sort of suspended thoughts, okay? Suspended in air. There's a feeling of holding your breath almost, right? Swords speak to communication, to the mind, right? To logic, yet again. So this represents our thoughts, and you have a 7 here. This card I'm seeing speaks to kind of the having a lot of thoughts, considering many things, many different aspects, right? Perhaps being attached to a particular one, okay, but not yet coming out yet again, right? This sword is being covered, okay? It's not being used, right? The communication is not happening. So again, right, with the Hanged Man, with the Fool in reverse, there is this feeling in your recent past of a more active state, perhaps, of thinking about the situation, right? Of whatever it is that you were sort of impending with and waiting for the sort of transformation to take place. But this can even represent the thoughts, the many thoughts that were going on inside of your head as you were waiting, okay? It could also speak to that. But nonetheless, right, a lack of communication of sort of some aspect, right? Keeping something to yourself. Okay, keeping something to yourself. Waiting. Okay, but this is a very cerebral energy, very much in your head. Okay, there's almost even a solitude to this card, right? Now, when you jump up into the Fool, right, which is the energy leading from this card to your current state, which is the Swords in reverse, which I'm seeing as good, okay? This is like a fresh breath, a breath of fresh air, right? The Fool. A fox is down to the ground, is low, is sly, right? Is almost in the background, okay? The Fool is very much a jovial sort of energy, a fresh, new, eager, right? Ready for the journey sort of feeling, right? Whereas these are more reserved, okay, and held back, waiting, pensive. So you were thinking a lot, right, about something, maybe perhaps while you were waiting, okay? Many thoughts. And perhaps keeping them to yourself, okay? Maybe having made a decision, but keeping it to yourself, okay? But then switching up into the sort of octave of being ready, okay, to take the first step, knowing what sort of this new journey is and what you want it to look like, really, okay? I'm seeing more clarity even, okay? There's almost like sunshine behind this baby chick, okay? So having more clarity, the sun has come out from this sort of night, okay? And bringing you out from the recesses of your mind, okay? Even if it's energetically, right? Perhaps it's not yet manifested fully in this state that we're talking about. However, that then leads you to your current state, which is the Six of Swords in reverse. So now the Seven of Swords is pointing right over at the Six of Swords. And we're going from a 6 to a 7. But keep in mind that these 6 swords up here, right, are all pointing in this direction to this card. But this one sword that you're lying over is pointing in that direction, okay? So even I'm getting a feeling of having been attached to a sort of something within your past, right? Ruminating on something within your past, perhaps even in a way, okay? And then being ready to sort of take the first step and transform sort of your perspective in the journey forward, okay? So when this card is pointing over at the Six of Swords in reverse, I'm seeing it as, first of all, a mirror, right? The Fool is in reverse. The Six of Swords is in reverse. And there's a rainbow here at the top, which is the bottom of this card when it's in reverse. And there is sort of light and color signifying hope, right? Freedom, movement, light. Okay, so there's sort of the letting go, okay, of this old process of thinking, okay? You have a 7 here, and this is a 6. These are 6 swords, and this is 1 sword. These 6 swords are pointing over at these 6 swords, right? Because this is a 6 of swords. So it's almost as if it's referring to, this card is referring to these past sort of thoughts, okay, that were impending, okay, that were just kept inside, okay, and you're now being able to do away with them, okay, letting them fall out, and at the base lies hope, lies the dawn of a new day, okay, which is in synchrony with this new beginning, right, with the sort of change in perspective, right, of going into this new journey is sort of the letting go of this past, of these old ruminations and thoughts and feeling of stagnancy, right? Just thinking about something, being in your head about it, whereas you're really in the latter portion of the reading, you're moving into fruition, manifestation, okay? Definitely, definitely. And action. Okay, action. Right here, sort of at the base of your reading, and the advice card, you have the Two of Wands. Okay, Wands speaking to fire, passion, action, creativity, right? Getting the gears in motion, going for it, doing physically, right? This is in your head. This is physical, okay? The tangible actions that we take to move forward and make progress. So I'm seeing these two wands, right, as funneling to a point where it's almost like saying, concentrate your focus. Okay, concentrate your actions. This is a new journey, right? It's a Two of Wands. It's the very beginning, right? Laying the foundation as you take your first steps forward in this new journey. Okay, so focus your actions, focus, and it's pointing right up at this Nine of Pentacles, okay, which is almost like the sort of ideal, right? What you want sort of to bring about, right? That you want to bring, that you want to see manifest in your, around you, right? Even this is the environmental energy. So it's sort of saying, and this is what I'm feeling, that focus your energies, focusing and doing things in a very precise, almost precise manner, in which you're very even level-headed, right, in the way. You know what you're contributing to. You have a clear sense of focus and the next steps forward. Doing that is going to help bring about the environment, right? The culmination, the richness of environment that you're looking for, that you're seeking, okay? So your actions and your ability to keep focused in your efforts and movement forward is tied to the sort of success, right? And feeling of culmination, even the sort of harmony, right, within your environment, right? These two things are tied. Even look at the colors in the background of them both. Very, very similar, right? It's the horizontal lines, and they're very colorful. So tying actions, fire, passion, creativity to fruition, hard work, sustainability, okay? Long-term sort of output, right? That brings a long-term sort of culmination of efforts, okay, in a tangible way. Now, you're moving over to the Six of Wands in reverse, okay? Now you have a Six of Swords and a Six of Wands. Current state, near future. Okay, let's make sure we're still recording. Cool, okay. So Six of Wands in reverse. Now, let me tune in here. So there's a feeling of, there's a contrast, right, between this element of flight, right? Look at this rainbow, right? Rising up, okay? Look at this bird, this bird. Well, we do have a bird here, but this is a butterfly. The rising up of, I'm seeing this as culminated energy, culminated efforts, okay? Rising up and creating something from it, okay? The rising up from almost the rubble, right? The aftermath of all of the energy and the efforts we've put in, okay? So again, right, look at these three cards. There is a sort of darkness to them on one half. And then there is the sort of ray of hope the ray of light, and ultimately the transformation, right? This butterfly once was in a cocoon, once was a caterpillar, right? There's this feeling of even being, right, impended in space as sort of the butterfly in waiting. Okay, we'll say it like that. So it seems there's a sort of chrysalis effect that's coming forward. Excuse me. As connected to the efforts that you're putting in. Okay, I'm seeing this as putting in a lot of energy, putting in a lot of effort, right? Really taking heed. Okay, this is not a light sort of task. This is not just an easy journey, right? It's one that you're treading into softly, slowly, but one that's bringing you great reward, great sort of surmounting, okay, a surmounting feeling. Okay, so you have a 6, right? A pile of sort of efforts that you're hoping you can then, once they're put in, rise from, okay, and move forward onto the next leg of the journey. There's a feeling of wanting to transform, make movements, steps forward, right? Going from step A to step B. And that's very much apparent here. Very much apparent here with the Fool in reverse, okay? And I'm seeing this as the replacement of Swords energy, right? Just the rumination, the thinking, the review, right? The very mental energy to the active energy, okay? Whereas this is passive, this is active. And then taking those actions, right? Putting in all of the hard work, putting in all of the, again, day in, day out sort of dedicated work, right? That you're putting into it. And hoping, right, that the culmination of those efforts will lead to your ability to fly up and proceed, right, in the next step. There's a feeling of wanting to move forward with something, right? Wanting to see something come to fruition. Okay, that's what I'm feeling. Almost even like a birthing, right? A birthing. But one that is tied to almost even the rhythms of nature, right? One that is almost out of your hands, I'll say that as well, with the Hangman in reverse, right? With its dependence on the turn from night to day, okay? A feeling of needing to wait, right? Waiting. So now, and this is in your near future, okay? And it's in reverse. So it could potentially be that you're moving into this energy, right? But in a way where a lot of work will be needed. A lot of work will be needed to be put into whatever it is, right? Focused work. Okay, the decisions of how to move forward. And it's coming, right? It's coming, but it's again slow. Okay, there's this feeling of waiting, right? That is sort of threaded in from the past and this ultimate sort of macro, not ultimate, but macro transformation, okay? Now, in your hopes and or your fears, you have the Devil. The Devil, okay? And the Devil has a pentacle, same symbol on the Pentacles card, on his forehead, right? This goat, this mountain goat, speaking to, I believe, the sign of Capricorn, which is an earth sign, right? So the Devil is in reference to the earth element, right? To our sort of material gains, to the tangible world around us, our hopes and our desires, right? Our deep desires. Okay? And the devil here is looking over at this Father of Pentacles. Interesting. Because this is the personification of a person, right? The Father of Pentacles is the personification of a person. The devil is a personification of sort of a person, an archetype, right? Personality. This one is much younger looking, right? Almost, right, fire-footed. The fusion between fire and earth. Okay. But this card symbolizes sort of materialism as well. Okay, even an over-dependence on sort of the material element and aspect of whatever it is that we're working towards, or that inherently feeds in from the process that we're involved in. Let me get back to these two, though. I want to get more into the energy that's crowning. Okay, so moving up to your environmental position, you have the Nine of Pentacles. Okay, and in your energetic pathway that you're moving into, you have the Empress in reverse. Okay, the Empress is the number 3, speaking to stability, right? 3 is a very stable number. 3 is really the triangle, right? A formation, which is the most stable formation, I believe, right? So now, and it's a tree, right? It's depicted by a colorful, vibrant tree that stands tall in the moonlight. Okay, it's night, right? But there is sort of life still. There is sort of this this aspect of fusion, right, between night and day even. Okay, the fire of sort of the sun and the day is still instilled in the Empress, right? She shines even at night. She holds her passion even at night. Okay, there is a sense of definitely stability, definitely confidence, feeling stable in whatever your domain, right? Whatever it is you've built up. One that is, though, also tied to your intuition, right? Feeling stable even at night. Okay, these two cards are very different, and yet weaving in the similar aspect of night. Okay, so, and it's in reverse. Okay, but I believe that this is speaking to the sort of the leg of the journey that you're hoping to move into. Okay, that energetically you want to be moving towards, and it's really this sort of stance of independence and self-sufficiency. Okay, one that is charged by your own sense of creativity and passion and initiative, okay, and hard sustained work, okay, which is sort of the byproduct of your actions, of your focused intentions even. Okay, I will say it like that as well. The intention, right, of your work leading to sort of this leading to, right, progress and movement forward. So again, the Fool in reverse, the Empress in reverse, both major arcana. This is a 0, this is a 2, and this is a 3. So there's sort of a triangulation of energy that's taking place. These two are in reverse, so it's a bit of a delayed, okay, time-released sort of progress that's being made, okay? And the 2, though, however, of Wands is upright, and it's funneling right up into the center of the spread. So it's almost as if the transformation turning upright depends on your focused efforts and work, okay, that are put forward, right, in a very strong, persistent, determined way, one that is focused on bringing about this 9 of Pentacles, this culmination, bringing formation, right? Formation to our efforts, seeing the transformation of sort of seeing the work that we do bring forward into our reality, right? Whatever it is that we're hoping to cultivate. Okay. Now, if we come down here into the Devil and the Father of Pentacles, and let's just make sure we're recording. Awesome. So there is, right, a desire for movement, a need for action that's focused, definitely at the sort of base of your reading, right? This is what's holding the transformation sort of up, okay? So I'm seeing this. This is what I'm getting here. This is almost like the, what's the word? The sort of, like the other side, the other face, right? The yin and the yang. You have the yin and the yang. This Father of Pentacles is just very, stable, focused on what it is that he wants to bring about in his life, but in a very comfortable way, right? Not in a way of clinging on to something, being like, I'm gonna get it no matter what, this is what I want, I have to have it, I'm gonna get, that kind of thing. It's just very much, I've cultivated, I've harvested, I've created, right? It's sort of a healthy space of manifestation, okay? Whereas this is the pursuit of the desire in a way that is almost relentless, okay? So it's almost as if, right, and if you look at the antlers of the Devil, they sort of go out, okay? And I'm looking at this 2 of Wands, and these wands are pointing at a point, okay? You could perhaps be fearing almost the distraction, the diverted energy that you're putting into something, right? You could perhaps fear, because these 2 cards are very similar. Very similar, okay? Very similar. The archetype is quite similar. This is almost like the rebel without a cause sort of archetype, okay, even. Stirring up trouble, causing a ruckus, right? In light of the sort of otherwise focused, stable attainment, right, of a sort of space and energy of stability. The Devil is in action, right? It's very much linking the energy of fire and the energy of earth, okay? So it's less stable than the Father of Pentacles, okay? And it's looking over at the Father of Pentacles, but the Father of Pentacles almost doesn't even realize that the Devil's right behind him, okay? So it's, so again, right? there's this pointed, this focus pointing up at pentacles and pentacles. This is a different manifestation of the pentacle energy, of the earth energy. And it's a major arcana yet again, so it's indicative of a sort of transformative nature, right? Transformative place, okay, in the process of your greater transformation, okay? Now, this can go both ways, okay? This can go both ways. This can be also a hope in that you're hoping to harness the energy of fire with the energy of earth in such a way, right, where you are going to absolutely pursue whatever it is you have your mind set on, okay? And you're going to sort of charge after it. Okay, this is sort of the embodiment of fire and earth. Okay, the embodiment of those two elements, right? Bringing them together and really stepping into the sort of this role of pursuit, and one that you're hoping will lead you to this position of feeling truly stable, right? This is still like the process of pursuing something. This is sort of, I'm retired, right? I'm retired of my efforts, and I'm now seeing whatever it is I've been working towards come into place, come into fruition, standing back, watching the crops that you've harvested sort of grow up. So I'm getting a very fast-paced energy from here, whereas the Pentacles is customarily a slower-paced energy. This is there's sort of a stillness, a repose to this card. The Devil is the hustler, right, sort of energy. So perhaps you even feel, right, that you're of losing control, even almost, right? Of your material desires, right? Or even your any desire, really, right? Getting a hold of you. Losing balance. But it might speak differently to different people, okay? Because there's sort of two themes that are standing out, right? With the Devil looking over the Father of Pentacles, but almost not even exactly, okay? So really, I think there could be perhaps a sense of this Devil almost kind of coming in as a distraction from this otherwise very serious, focused energy, okay? Now, let's hop over here to your theme. You have the Seven of Wands in reverse. You have the Eight of Pentacles upright. And you have the Son of Swords in reverse. Okay, so the sort of theme, as it appears, is at the center of everything, there is this focus. Very determined, stable sort of focus, building this web, okay? It's very procedural. It's very much in the process of, right? Which in and of itself is sort of a pending energy, okay, which I believe speaks to the reversals that we see here, okay, and here. But also, right, to this first thematic card of the Seven of Wands in reverse. So you have the Seven of Wands, almost right, like lighting a match, and you have a Six of Wands right here. So you're going from a 6 in your near future to sort of the overarching 7, okay? And when we look at these two cards of the Wands, it's almost as if, right, amidst this sort of underbrush of wands that previously weren't being used, okay, comes and stands this one wand that's finally lit, okay, that's finally being put into use, right? Almost like the fire that's just rising, okay, the match that's lit, but you have it in reverse, okay? So there is, again, right, this wanting, this desire to finally light the match, okay, to finally fly up, to finally sort of bring your efforts into fruition and culmination in a way that is tangible, that you feel, where you feel the fire, right? In a way where the transformation and the progress is being made, and you're seeing it and you're feeling it, okay? So there is also a transformation within this card itself, okay? This card is also speaking to transformation, the transformation of the state of passivity, of just passive wands that aren't being used, right, to the sudden implementation of the element, okay? So, right, and again, you're oscillating between earth energy being very focused, stable, with fire energy. So perhaps there's a feeling of impedance, right? Not yet, almost being gridlocked, not yet moving forward in your actions, right? In a way where you really see them, you're starting to see them lead to fruition and actuality around you, okay? Yes, okay. So not yet. Putting the wands in, putting the efforts in, right? Putting the efforts in. But understanding that it's a process, right? And that you can put the efforts in, but ultimately the match will be lit at the right time, right? Once this transformation takes place, which is dependent on nature, right? For the butterfly to awaken from the chrysalis, for, right? For the natural progression, which it seems you're very much involved in even a macro sense, okay? So, sort of waiting on this energy with the Six of Wands in reverse, to waiting, right, overall on wanting to light the match, wanting to go for it, wanting to just get it going, right? Rising up from this dark underbrush, okay, of efforts, and then now being able to see this transformation from your actions to the tangible world, okay? So this is really about wanting to make and see what you're creating within your efforts, right? These are your efforts. I'm seeing this as sort of lighting the match and implementing, putting it into use, right? And seeing your environment, right? Which is, again, the Nine of Pentacles. Seeing your environment by way of your actions, and your actions leading to sort of the eventual light that will be brought, okay? Again, this focus on the need to be focused in actions. Okay, so, and beneath that, we have the Son of Swords. Okay, and the Son of Swords is speaking to the air element. So our intellectual mind, right? The logicking through it. And it's in reverse. Now, upright, the Son of Swords speaks to the sort of archetype of a very focused, determined, going for it straight, right? Just swooping right down into it and almost picking a prey, right? With this owl, it's almost as if he's in pursuit of the hunt. Okay, now in reverse though, and at the base of it, it's almost like saying, it's almost like laying the emphasis on what's above it. Okay, the Eight of Pentacles, the stable, persistent, focused and determined, day in, day out efforts that you're placing towards something is what's going to bring you, it's what holds everything together. Okay, not the sort of intellectual decision of moving right in, forward and making something happen, right? It's really this sort of persistence and even this patience that's needed to bring this sort of scenario about, this next leg in the journey about, okay? So it's not about a sudden sort of intellectualized progress, right, that's made. It's because air is very sort of unstable, okay, and very impulsive almost even too, right? Air speaks to, again, thoughts, right, as they come and they go. But earth is stable, is persistent, it's cultivated over time and in tandem with the cycles of nature, right? So needing to wait out on the natural course of a process, okay? That theme is very much sticking out in the spread here, okay? And not really on one that is sort of just in your hands, right? Where you're gonna force the progress and the movement, okay? Forward. So it's really beckoning patience that's needed, right? Rather than sort of a forced progression, okay? To an otherwise natural process, right? As we really see on many of the cards here, okay? Yes. Yes. So going with the flow, the natural flow of things, okay? You may be feeling a little bit impatient, right? Wanting to just swoop in and just do it and say it and decide and take action, but, right, there is this sort of need to pace yourself and adhere to the natural progression, okay? Because it's a significant one, it's a deep one, it's one that speaks to really your being and the transformation of your being, okay? Which is not just overnight, right? Which is sort of what this Son of Swords, that energy really speaks to, right? It's sudden. Going in, jabbing, okay? Getting what you want, right? It's a very night and day, it's a very immediate, fast-paced energy. But the spider is so focused on the web that it's weaving, right? On what it wants to cultivate. And even focused in the actions, right? Okay. So thank you so much, Pisces, for tuning in. I hope this reading resonated with you guys. So yeah, please feel free to leave your comments below. I'm always curious to know how it does resonate. And I will hopefully be back within the next week or so, a week or 2 weeks, with your February reading. And I hope I did say this was a January reading. Yes, this is January, the last 2 weeks of January. Okay, so I'll be back with your February reading. Yeah, hopefully within the next 2 weeks or so. So stay tuned, and I will see you guys then. All right, bye Pisces. Enjoy January, and see you soon.